What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I first want to shout out K.R. Watkins um, for your feedback on the live stream. What is the live stream? Yeah, yeah, the reparations piece. Um, you were so spot on. And the only thing I would add to that is a sovereign government. A sovereign government, very important. Um, yeah, I'm doing this, you guys, because the inspiration came upon me. I've been in thought, and even when I turned in for bed, I still was feeling something. I almost didn't turn in. I almost just set up lighting and all that stuff, and was threatening to do a full-on video. And then I decided against it, but I am gonna say some things in this. I'll try and keep it a little short. I feel like it's gonna be short. I've spoken to you before about one of my core philosophies, one of my core observations, I should say, is that the American public as a whole, obviously there's some brilliance sprinkled amongst, present company included. Um, Obviously there's some brilliance sprinkled, you know, but as a whole society, America is the dumbest society on the earth. You know, even as I speak to you, um, the highest educated group in the country are African immigrants, proving our brilliance once again, even though we're not continental. And because of this dumbness, there are things that go on in the society that are abnormal to human exist. I didn't want to use that word, but I don't have another word. That are abnormal to human rhythm. Allahu Akbar. We'll use that. They're abnormal to human rhythm and human authenticity. You will always see people just adapt what is out there, so to speak. I watch it so much, and I've watched it so much, and I continue to this day. And I'll give you an example. I've spoken to you before about this word so. It bugs my butt hair when I hear this. The moment somebody asks somebody a question, they begin with so as an answer. It goes through me. It goes through me. And I think it goes through me because I'm an intellectual. That's not intellectual. And it's programmed upon a dumb populace. So, they'll say, so tell me about yourself. Just keep it simple. So, how much did you pay for your car? So, I paid this so thing. And this has only been going on for the last 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years is what I have it documented at in my own attachment when I noticed it, or when it began. And if this is the bigger picture, everybody, as I try to break it down. Not only does it bug my butt hair right off of my anatomy, but it speaks to a greater uh, going on that actually proves my point about the ignorance of the society and how the populace just adapts and latches on to things without even thinking about it. They don't even know they're doing it. It has just become. It's very dangerous, you see. This is why I always tell you, you have to stand at your gate and you have to be the captain of your ship. You have to vet and protect and decide and discern what you're going to allow yourself to be exposed to and thereby influenced by. Do you understand? So, when you take a simple word like so as a beginning to an answer, for me, the implication is, and I know this, and this one's really why it bugs me, and it's also because of why I say what I say about the society as a whole. Because this one word testifies how easy it is to influence over upon an entire populace an idea, an event, a philosophy, a reaction, a response. Keep going. So I automatically look deeper and go, and I'm being rhetorical for myself right now, but not for you, because I know this already, and I'm trying to break it down for you in a way that is clear. If that one word can become so pervasive in such a short period of time, and if the Jedi can look like he needs to take his ass to sleep, then anything can be done. You know, I was watching, I told you guys that, I got rid of Netflix after Monique asked us to get rid of it. But I was able to see the Ava DuVernay documentary about the Central Park Five because sadly my baby sister has Netflix, and so she was able to just share her credentials with me, and I was able to log in at my house and watch it. Okay, fine. And so, but I also took the opportunity to browse some other things, primarily documentary, and there was a documentary about this club that used to be in New York back in the 80s, I guess late 70s, early 80s, called Studio 54. And the guys that started it, and it was a very successful club, and it was the it spot, and it was everything. Like even Michael Jackson used to go to this club. Like he's on camera being interviewed in the club, which is a whole nother video that we're not going to get into. I might. But what eventually brought their demise was that they were, it brought upon tax evasion, amongst other things, but this tax evasion. And anytime I hear about tax evasion, the only thing I think is, yes, evade every tax you can, and rightly and morally so, and divinely so. Because you see, as Muslims, we know that Allah, the Creator, the One, has forbidden tax and interest. This is known as usury. You understand? This is usury. And you think about how perfect, of course, this would be because it's from the divine. But you think about the perfection of it in what it eliminates if there is no tax and interest. If you don't have tax and interest, you don't have the subprime loans that wiped out 50% of the little bit of African American wealth that is left. You don't have Wall Street, a big portion of it. You would cut out a lot of the homeless population right out the gate. Above them, you would cut out those people who are living just like one toe over to homeless, like one toe over. So there is no cause for tax, you see, especially in a nation that prints its own money. Money that is not backed up by any resource. There's no gold. Shout out to MW. I had to remind him on the live stream. I taught you guys there is no gold. There is no gold at Fort Knox. Everybody, there is no gold at Fort Knox. There is no gold at Fort Knox because back when Nixon was president, this country went off the gold standard, and we don't need to back our money up with gold anymore. We have nuclear weapons, and we have a big army, and we'll just bully anybody on the earth who doesn't do what we say and doesn't take our currency. So there is no gold at Fort Knox. So if they can print their own damn money, why do you need my money? Why do you need my tax dollar? Why do you need that? Why? But here's the thing, as it brings us back to our central point of the influence. So to anybody with this case of the Studio 54, and any time that you hear about a case of tax evasion, there's no shortage of people going, they're not paying their taxes. They got to pay their taxes, you know. Remember when Wesley Snipes, to name a more recent case, was snarled up for tax evasion, and you know, and everybody just kind of went along instead of the entire nation standing up and saying, no, I don't need to pay you any tax. I'm just giving you ghost money just for no reason, just because. What am I getting for it? And again, it would be one thing if the operation of the nation really did depend on a damn tax dollar. It don't. Again, I remind you again, and I probably be doing it as many other times we go through this, we live in a nation that prints its own money. But I can get worse than that. Poof, credit. Poof, credit. And as I have outlined for you in previous work, credit is poof. It is non-existing money out of thin air. There's even a book or a documentary, I think it's a video called Debt as Money that perfectly describes the credit system and the credit card. Poof. Because essentially what happens is somebody takes, wait, I need something. I've already sent my assistant home for the evening, so I have to actually do work and find stuff myself. Oh my god, I have a dollar bill. Alright, fine. So here's a dollar bill. This will represent a credit card and a credit company, right? Ooh, my stomach is growling. Did y'all hear that? So, I don't have any money. I'm nobody. Alright. I am Visa and MasterCard at their inception. Go with me. Wonder how I can make some money. Then I just pick one of my subscribers and I go, hey, you know, you should apply for credit so you can buy stuff. And then I set up this ghostly credit score thing. That's just to establish classism, everybody. They really don't care about no credit score. You understand? They really don't care. That's just to, it's another one of those things that they always build into the society as a institution to keep you out, keep African people out. Hear this, that's the only reason why there's such thing as a damn credit score. I proclaim to you. It's the only reason. By the way, this might be part one, everybody, because if this cuts off, I'm just going to upload it and I'll do part two. I'm going to keep the flow. All right, and it may be abrupt, so you just have to stay with me. All right, so throw out the credit score. So I just pick anybody and I go, yeah, I don't know, Javashi. Shout out to you, Javashi. So I go, you should get some credit so you could buy some stuff. It doesn't exist anywhere. And I go, well, let me see what your credit looks like. I get your social security number, I get all your information, and I come up with these little ghostly forms, and I'm filling out a bunch of stuff, and I'm checking and scanning, and What I'm really doing is seeing what you're worth. What you can give me. I'm really extorting money from you under the fictitious guise of credit, as if I'm giving you something. I'm not. And I have a whole institution that's backed up this heist. You see, the FDIC and all of it, the federal treasury and all of it. We're colluding. So we say that's like my auntie them or somebody, and say, look, we're gonna get Javashi for this money. So, just in case it go bad, will y'all back me up? Yeah, I got you. But we have confidence because we've all colluded, and we feel very good about the risk of this heist. So we good. We just, adding a little bit more insurance for ourselves. So then I go, yeah, well, it looks like how much you looking to borrow, and maybe say 15,000. I've looked at how much you make. I know how much your mom and them make because you done put all your co-signers and anybody else and everybody. I got all your stuff. It's just like me coming into your house and casing it to come back and steal from you later. Stay with me. So you've given me, I didn't have to case your house. You're giving me your assets. You're telling me all about yourself and what you have. Not just your financial holdings, but you're also allowing me to know if you're somebody that's actually going to be a problemless stoolie in this heist, in your own robbery of yourself. All right? So all of what you're going to give me is free money for me. I'm not giving you anything. I'm not giving you anything. I go, yeah, we can loan you the 15 grand with a 25% interest rate. All right? Make it 30. That seems more realistic for black folks. So you get this loan or this credit card and you think, I got me some credit. No, you didn't. What you've done is entered into a contract to pay me money. You established the amount. You did that. You see? So now you're going to give me $15,000 plus interest. And I don't lift a finger. And then I've put into place a whole system that you know that if you don't pay me, that I will ruin your credit, and I've attached it to the society to keep you now seeking out this heist system. From the time you're knee high to a great, people are going to tell you, you got to have you some good credit. They're just grooming you to go into, to be the next person to be heisted. Are you following me? So if you don't pay it, then I've established a system to villainize you and then to come after you. Because remember, this is all about a heist, by hook or by crook. It's just as crooked when you weren't in collections the day you applied for the loan. It's just as crooked then as it is after you default on this credit card or this loan. The whole thing is ugly. I want that money I'm heisting from you. I want it. You see? Add to that credit, add to that tax and interest in the general society. You go and buy gas, you go and buy a candy bar, you go wherever, you see tax, damn it, tax. All usury, all taking from the people, you see. So this is a problem, but it goes back to that word so as our example, our action example, our running, working example of how the society is influenced, because sane people would just stand up and say, whoa, Bubba, no more taking any more money from me. No, I don't owe you any tax. And by the way, these guys that I talked about that had this nightclub, they had like something like $500,000 in tax that they had, it didn't pay. That's $500,000. I don't care if it was $50 or $500. That's your coin. And I've always objected. Think about the evil of it. I've always objected to somebody who wasn't there when I'm driving in the rain, the sleet, and the snow, in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and didn't eat that morning, and all the stuff that you go through when you're just working a regular 9 to 5. They're not there. But yet, they're getting paid. And you have been seduced into thinking, this is normal. I'm paying my taxes. I'm a good citizen. No, you're being heisted. You see? This is the asshole of the devil, everybody. This is the incarnate of evil right here. This is the worst place on earth you could live. Is America. And sadly, it doesn't become just about location. It becomes about personality. Because wherever white people establish themselves, they bring this evil inherently to societies. You know, spreading it across the earth. This blasphemous way of existing as human beings, you know, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. But to continue my point, on the Netflix, one of the documentaries I watched was this Chelsea Handler chick. And she did a thing where she went out to Silicon Valley to pitch an app that she had, some apps that she had an idea for. But while she was out there, she met some very, very young kids, like 14-year-olds, literally, like 10 to 14, who were at Silicon Valley, and they are programmers and coders. You know, I have a friend of mine who, every time I go to their house, the teenage son he's just barely a teenager, is always playing video games. And I'm always telling him, you know, you should go into coding now. Learn what coding and programming is. Because this is all you do. This is all I ever see you do since I've known y'all. That means this is something that you like to do. So why wouldn't you do this and get paid for it? Then you'll never work a day in your life. Because you're doing what you love. You're doing it for free now. Think about if you could get a coin for that. Well, they're ignorant, and I don't know if I'm penetrating the shield. But I mention it every time I see him, and we'll just see. You know, inshallah, Allahu alam. But these 14-year-olds, none of whom look like any of us, thank you, there they are. At Silicon Valley with, you know, the big people that are making, you know, self-driving cars and, you know, drones and, you know, all of it. And I thought about how we as a people, when we look at our unemployment numbers, how many of our children understand what I'm trying to tell this kid that I just mentioned? There's jobs, careers, paths to money and wealth that are available but are not being highlighted and articulated and promoted in the African community. This is a problem, everybody. This is a problem. It's a problem. And add to that, not only are we not, listen, and it's not even just our children. It's young adults, it's adults. Anytime you say, I promise you, anytime I meet anybody black that's still going to school, these career college people, I said, what are you studying? It's always something that don't lead to nothing of a coin. But most importantly, it does not lead to where the society is trending to. If your child is articulating a desire to do anything other than technology, and you're not discouraging that, you are a bad parent. I just told you you are. You're a bad parent, and you should be carted off by CPS. I'll call them myself. Listen, we as a people have got to start getting on to understanding where the society is going. You know, I used to tell my older nieces and nephews when they were younger, before they were ever going to have a job, I said, while you're young now, just take once, twice a week, go through the want ads in the newspapers, see what jobs are available and what they pay. Because they were so young then, they didn't have to think about, what am I going to be? What am I going to do for a living? You know. Stop asking our children language, everybody. I always tell you, how you think and speak is how you relate and react. So the language has to be changed. Stop asking your kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Throw that out. You ask them, how are you going to earn money? What do you want to do for a living? You see, because they're not making the tie up. What you want to do, what you want to be, may not have any relationship to a coin and supporting yourself in life. So the language has to be changed. So the thinking and the relationship to this can be different. So thusly, the new language that you're going to use from now on is, what is your path to supporting yourself? How will you earn money in the future to support yourself and to have a living? You see, because we don't have a lot of jobs in our hoods anyway. You're either going to work at fast food. The statistics show that most African American people are in some sort of customer service or something like this. You know, you drive a bus or, you know, some kind of hospitality or something like this. This is why you're hearing these numbers saying that in the year, what is it, in 20, forget what year it is, the gross income of the African American community will be zero. Well, what they're not saying, and what has occurred to me, and why I'm doing this video, one of the reasons, is to articulate to you that because we are trending on careers and education paths before the career, we're trending on these education and career paths that don't lead to jobs of the future. They will not be around. You have artificial intelligence and automation going skyrocket. So if you drive a city bus, sister girl, you're not going to be driving that bus. It will be driven by Wi-Fi or something from a satellite or God knows what, you see. So we have to start trending towards careers and money paths that line us up with what the future looks like. That's where we got to be, everybody. That's called being ahead of the curve. Do you understand? When you talk about Google is developing transportation systems that will effectively get rid of Uber even. You know, so all my brothers out there, I drive for Uber. Well, you won't be for very long. All right? You have to get into something, and particularly something in technology. You must. You must. Because we are failing, and we have to change the language, not just about how we think about our futures, but we also have to change our language as it relates to day-to-day vernacular and conversation. If you know somebody, after you see this video, if you know somebody that uses that so shit, oh my God. You stop their ass the next time you're talking to them and say, do you realize what you're saying? First, when you know you're going to have a conversation with them, just have like a little piece of paper or something. And just mark every time they say so. And deliberately engage them in questions over the course of your conversation. And just mark every time they say that so shit to start a sentence. So, 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 so. Alright? And then you snatch the... We have to control this. Because the last thing we want to do is be mimics of this enemy. Mimics of this enemy. You know, I was talking to my Nigerian brother the other day, and one of the things we were talking about, when we were talking about language and we were talking about some things, and he was saying how I didn't know there was 36 states in Nigeria. Right, that's something else. But anyways, he was saying how the moment you hear somebody speak, you know exactly where they're from. Because if I'm in Nigeria, I'm just thinking you're in Nigeria, so you're just Nigerian to me. I wouldn't know. I guess, once you're there, maybe there's some way to pick up on it. But I'm just saying. He was saying he could tell where they were from. You could tell where they're from the moment they said what part of Nigeria they're from as soon as they start speaking. I can relate to it because it's just like living here. If somebody's from the South, you know it. Oh, I know you from the South. Where are you from in the South? Which lynching state are you from, Miss? Alright. But it speaks to why it is important that we reject and deliberately stay away from any and all vernacular that is not authentic to us, which is a tall order because none of this is authentic. Not even this language I'm speaking right now. None of this is authentic to us. None of it. None of it. None of it. None of it. Having said that, we can still carve out our own individuality within the space. You understand? So, what that looks like is starting with things like so. Reject that. Don't allow your kids to do it, and you don't do it. And anybody you know, you call their ass on it. Because they don't realize they're doing it. Because like I already told you, people are adopting things and philosophies and ideas and sayings and ways of life and everything else in a society that they think and would argue you down. They would tell you that it's authentic to them, that they are doing it on their own. They have no idea they've been sold. You're not being authentic. You've been programmed for this, and you have no idea. No idea. You understand? It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So, we have to get about the business of our language, but also, we also then can't give that away. You see? Let's stop allowing others, especially the enemy of our people, to use anything that is ours. So, excuse me, that's ours. We don't allow that. We just don't. We just don't. You see? And you'll have a shocking, effective effect because nobody will expect you to call them on it. That's another thing that goes on in this society. People do things because it's been programmed that nobody will say or do anything. They just won't. It's like, that's why you have people just stand around when a crime is being committed right in front of them. They've been programmed. You get on an escalator that you ride every single day, and everybody knows the right is for people that are just standing there, and the left is for people that have to do their little power walking and all of it. You see, they don't expect you to say anything, and when you do, it's like snapping a dog out of their trance. Do you understand? Oh my God, I can't, dude. I can't. But what concerns me the most, always, is African people. You know, there's so many fronts to our climb for victory and freedom. I always tell you, liberation and revolution is not a poof, everybody. And it doesn't, you're not just turn on CNN one day and it will have happened. Even the stuff I'm talking about in this video right now are building blocks to that. You must be new and different. You must be. We must be. Do you understand? So, I want you to think about the things that I'm saying in this. I've got a lot going on. There's some things that I'm self-editing. No, I won't talk about that. There's a lot going on. A lot of neurons happening. But, man. Last thing I'll say, and this is totally off topic, but I'm going to church with my Nigerian brother on Sunday, inshallah. And inshallah, I'm going to take an opportunity to record it for two reasons. A, so you guys will be able to see him and any of his family, and also I will, if they let me, I believe they will. I can be crafty. Film the service or some portion of whatever, so we can discuss and critique. Yeah, I've got a very good Christianity video somewhere in me. I feel the energy. It's never difficult for me to tap into that, because my feelings are so strong and passionate and never ending and ongoing. So, yeah. But tomorrow, God willing, I will expound more upon this. I'm hoping to do a live event when I come in from the mosque, from Friday prayer services, and we will talk about this among other things. And I think I'm gonna go more into reparations than I did in my other live stream. And there's some other things that I'm inspired to talk about. I also have a dream that I want to share with you guys. In fact, I'm gonna stop this here. This will be the end of this, because it's gonna betray me if I keep going. I can just feel it. I can feel it. You know what? I'm just gonna start telling it to you. If it cuts off, then whatever. I used to dream a lot, but as of the last few years, I don't dream as often as I used to. But my dreams are always very vivid. And one of the gifts that I've been given is I'm one of these people that can wake up from my dream and tell you part of it and say, wait, I have to go back to it and go back into my dream to find the answers or whatever was incomplete or whatever. Well, I had a dream a couple weeks ago that I was with some friend whose face I never saw. In the dream I didn't see the face of the person I was with. But we end up at this apartment. It was like an indoor, anyways, we were at the door of this apartment. And the lady comes out and she says, "Ain't you so-and-so?" And I wasn't that person, but for some reason I just decided to be cute and snippet in that moment, and I go, or I was trying to just be mysterious. And I said something like, well, something that implied that I might be the person, but I also thought that it was understood that I was just doing that and that I wasn't really that person. And then her husband comes out, and they looked at me. I left there feeling a foreboding energy. And sure enough, not too long after that, here comes this sister with a gun. She was determined. She had decided that I was this person, and whoever this person was, she was out to kill them. And I'm trying to run from her and dodge bullets. It was a nightmare. Anyways, she finally comes up and she's right in front of me. I can't run anymore. And she shoots. Somehow it didn't hit me, and then she drops the gun. She was so pissed off because you could tell she was very frustrated with whoever it is that she really was wanting to shoot. That wasn't me. And in that moment, I picked up the gun. She runs off. Then this other brother, a youngster, gangster like thug little dude, comes up and he's got a bigger gun. This was just a handheld that I had. He had like a bigger gun. And I was like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. But as I'm saying this, we're going around in circles, like, like, and he realizes I have the gun and I'm not trying to shoot him. I go, it's not me. It's not me. And he had me like by my arm, like by my shoulder, like my shirt. He goes, oh, so you ain't trying to do nothing? I go, no, I'm not trying to shoot you. I'm not trying to shoot you. It's not me. So he lets me go and he just runs off. End of dream. I wake up in the morning. Had to go across town. And I stopped at this little store to get some tea. I come out, I get in my car. This older brother walks up. He's going in, my window's down. And he goes, hey man, do you got a sister? I said, yeah. She said, don't you got a sister named so? I go, no, I don't. He goes, you look just like such and such. And her brother is such and such. Don't you know? I said, brother. I said, hold up. I said, come here, man. I said, don't you know I just had a dream last night where in the dream I was being mistaken for being somebody I wasn't. You're the first person I've had contact with on the earth today since that dream. And this is what you said to me. Wow. You know, my favorite prophet, one of my favorite prophets, is Yusuf, alayhi salam. You all know him as Joseph. And you know that Allah gave him the gift of being able to discern dreams. It's interesting that he is one of my favorite people to read about, and then my relationship to dreams being what they are. I don't think that's a mistake at all. And then my best friend's name, my best friend of 20 years, is named Joseph as well. Anyway, I just thought it'd be worth sharing. So, it didn't cut off, but it's going to, I'm sure. So, I will see you guys, God willing, in the live event tomorrow after I come in from the mosque. And I will look forward to whatever you want to talk about as well. I'm going to leave it here. I'll see you soon.